kind of transition to something a little more serious. They didn't just use it for fun.
They used it to
send a
use
message.
their voice.
They came out with T-shirts that say, "Pay us what you owe us." For those of you who haven't,
it should give you chills when
it. And that's the thing is like,
gives me chills.
That it's a very simple message, but I think that it
holds
was
so
perfect.
much weight.
And I think the thing about that is because, and I'm like, a lot of times people that try to discount WNBA players being underpaid make it a WNBA versus NBA or WNBA versus college sports or a WNBA versus men's sports. Like, no, this is a WNBA versus WNBA problem.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. Pay us, the players, what you, the league, owe, what we deserve, us, the players. That's it.
The pay for WNBA has always been something. When I think about the NBA, I think about how sucky the pay is. It's beyond. And if it makes me mad, it should make everyone mad about where you look at the WNBA, the growth of the WNBA within the last 5 years, and you also look at how much they're getting paid compared to a professional man in the NBA. I know when you have to look at statistics, who's watching and stuff like that, but there's so much more growth, and they're still getting paid the same exact thing they were when there was no growth.
Well, okay, so do you mind if I go on my little tangent now?
Floor is yours.
So if you know me, I love statistics. I love numbers. I love working with finance stuff. I just think it's very interesting. So last night, after I was running on 4 hours of sleep and spent the whole day traveling, I decided to, instead of sleep, stay up till 1 a.m. breaking down numbers. And there's kind of 3 different models you could look at with arguments with the WNBA's pay problem, right? So people like to argue, oh, the WNBA is losing money. Oh, the WNBA doesn't make money, which wrong. Just objectively wrong.
Where'd you get that
simple
stat?
Google search? And I want to say I'm going to be using the NBA for a lot of my comparison stuff just because it's the same sport and the WNBA is a subsidiary of the NBA.
Yes.
So last year, the NBA made $11.34 billion. The WNBA made $200 million. Obviously, that's less. Substantially. It's about, WNBA made about, the NBA made about 56.7 times more. That being said, the average NBA salary is $11.9 million. If WNBA players were making 56.7 times less than that, they would be making about $210,000. That is still $35,000 more than the average salary. That's still, even if you just go off that very small model, they are still getting gypped about $35,000.
Yeah.
So that's because the average WNBA salary is, I flipped the numbers in my head. The average WNBA salary is $147,745. So they're getting gypped closer to $60,000. That's what I meant to say. So there's that. And look at this. Assuming that championship series go 7 games, the NBA plays 1,377 games. The WNBA plays 247, right? So substantially less.
Yeah.
You break it down game by game. The NBA makes about $8 million a game. The WNBA makes about $800,000. Obviously a big differential, but that is about a 10 times difference as opposed to the 56 times difference before. You break that down, NBA players are making, again, $11.9 million. If WNBA players made a tenth of that, which is about the number, they would be making $1.2 million.
Nobody's even close to that.
No. Average salary, $147,000. Now, the other thing, and this is the one that is the most glaring, and I think the business model of that should be used. The NBA, the NFL, the NHL, they all pay their players about 50% of the revenue share. Want to take a guess at how much of the revenue share the WNBA pays their players?
Close to 0. There's literally nothing.
9.3. 9.3% of the WNBA's money goes towards the players.
Quick pause for that.
Yeah.
It's just like a moment of silence.
And
it's so frustrating. It makes the hairs on my arm go up every time I think about it because it's just so aggravating.
And that's the thing that's frustrating is I see a lot of people on social media saying the WNBA doesn't make money. They're not going to get paid as much as the NBA players, which is true.
We're
They're not going to get paid.
We're not saying that we want to give them like tens of millions of dollars. We're just saying pay them what they deserve to get paid. We're not like I don't feel like the WNBA, and it just goes to show like there's people care about this exhibit A and B. People care about this more than just the players of the WNBA. Pay them what they deserved, and then maybe this wouldn't be a problem, or we wouldn't be having to wear shirts at an all-star game to get our point across. It just is not, it doesn't make sense. It's just where's the growth? We've seen the growth. Why isn't the growth showing? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And the thing is, the people that try to break this down are saying, oh, pay them fairly to what the NBA is paying their players. Okay. If we're going to give our players in the WNBA 50% of what the revenue share is, which is what the NBA does, WNBA players should be averaging $700,000. Not a single player in the WNBA is making $700,000.
Not even close.
I think Jackie Young is the highest paid player. I want to say she makes about $300,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think about, we had obviously the All-Star contest and the 3-point contest this week. Natasha Cloud wins the All-Star skills contest. And she said that her goal with the winnings was to put a down payment on her house and to buy a house for her and her wife, which I'm happy for her. I genuinely am. But why is your goal as a professional athlete, one of the best in your field, to be able to buy a home for you and your wife? Like this isn't a cutesy story.
We're going to look at Steph Curry, LeBron. Like, I doubt that's
the
last thing they're thinking about. And it's just not just for her, but you look at, there's so many other WNBA, not just in the WNBA, athletes out there that are going through the same exact thing. It's just people are not being paid what they deserve to be paid.
And I think we ranted pretty heavily about expansion the other week. The entire payroll of every WNBA player this year is roughly $23 million. To expand
less than one.
To expand these, to get these 3 teams that are coming in, it's going to cost the league $250 million. You could pay the entire salary of the WNBA until I am 32 with the cost that you are getting these 3 new teams in.
And how old are you?
I'm 21.
Exactly.
And the other thing is Adam Silver, commissioner of the NBA, from everything I've heard, is kind of the most beloved professional sports commissioner. You know how much he makes a year?
I do not.
$10 million. Makes $10 million. Kathy Engelbert, commissioner of the WNBA. First of all, you want to know how much she makes a year? Too bad it's not public information.
Are you serious?
It's not public information.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
because I feel like for anybody out there, that's very public.
But it's assumed from inside sources that it's about what she makes as the CEO of Deloitte, which is $3 million. To put that in perspective, if you were to make an NBA team of just Adam Silvers, 15 Adam Silvers on a team, would cost you $150 million. That wouldn't even be the top 20 most expensive rosters in the NBA. If you were to make a roster full of just Kathy Engelberts, so 12 players, Kathy Engelbert only, it would cost 150% of the payroll of the entire league. Yeah.
It's just like when you give those stats, I don't think people, obviously this is a big thing that people are talking about. When you put it into perspective, when you put numbers into it, when you give comparisons and things like that, it just is such a bigger of an eye opener when you look at numbers and you look at all these things. It's just something's got to be done. People need to be heard.
Yeah, 100%. So Went on a bit of a longer rant, but I felt
That's
like
okay.
I mean,
Needed to
this
be
is
talked
important
about.
to share, and it's just no WNBA player is going to be making $12 million off salary alone.
No.
It's simply not going to happen. But $700K, yeah, that's feasible and should be done.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to our TED Talk.
Thank you for the rant.
Thank you for the rant. We will be back here in a few minutes with Start, Bench, Cut. I have my players for this week. I will be pitching to Ellie for our last segment here on That's a W.